Bumrah or Sami or a Hardik. These three are basically very injury prone.
The human body is not meant to bowl. Ideally, we should not be doing that, right? But we want to play sport. We love cricket. All those things come into play, and they choose fast bowling. Hardik is a guy who is genetically and naturally very athletic, very athletic. He has kept the benchmarks there. उसका bowling में जितना लोड जाता है वो सिराज बुमराह या शमी जितना जाता है या 70% of them, and batting में विराट कोहली का 70-60% जाता है.
Workload management.
Today Bumrah is there, Siraj is there. Tomorrow it will be some other two fast bowlers. Yes, Bumrah is a generational talent. He is a outlier. He is a freak of nature. तो वो एक बंदा है जो हमेशा डिस्कस होते जाएगा.
Rishabh Pant ka accident. It was horrific. And when you see that boy coming out, playing, doing all those flips and all, I saw that he just able to walk again is a miracle. What went through your mind when you saw that?
Basically, if you see even how he bats or how he lives or how he thinks, वो explain नहीं कर सकते. वो मैं आपको I cannot put it down in words with you, but there is this thing different about him, and that is innate. That you cannot teach that, you cannot coach that. You can just preserve that.
Hello, everyone. You're watching TI Sport. This is Pratyush Suraj. Today, we have a very special guest. He's been former India strength and conditioning coach. He was part of India's incredible 2023 ODI World Cup. Welcome, Mr. Soham Desai. Thank you for giving your time. How is the experience? What was it like to be part of that incredible team? Obviously, there must be some obstacles and hindrance throughout the way. If you could talk about your journey with the Indian cricket team.
It was fabulous actually. It is a blessing, and I consider and I feel very fortunate to have served Indian cricket and India. So I happened to be the youngest and the longest serving strength and conditioning coach for Indian team, and that happened by default. You cannot plan or work towards some kind of achievement like that, right? So yeah, very fortunate. And everyone has their, as you said, obstacles and hindrances in every field. So mine was no different. However, it is a very fruitful and rewarding journey that I have had. So yeah, very fortunate.
Let's take you on the memory lane. You have been part of the team so long. If you could just pick one moment, tears are two kind. एक होता है sad वाला, एक होता है joy वाला. So if you could pick moment where you were shattered, that man, I mean, this thing happened, and then there's tear of joy. Oh, if you could talk about those two moments in your career.
I mean, result-wise, so 2023 World Cup would be like for every Indian, right? That was something. It's a near miss, and you couldn't had a setting like that. India, biggest stadium, India Australia final, a 100% winning streak, a PM at the stadium to give the trophy. It was a fabulous journey and fairy tale kind of a tournament for the team. So that is result wise, that is the most emotionally draining or emotionally taxing situation that I have faced with the team. Profession wise, there are many things that you always try when you are a guy who is wanting to grow and evolve always. You always end up thinking, यार ये कर सकता था, यार ये हो सकता था, यार ये better कर सकते थे. There's always in hindsight those situations, and so there like that there are many moments. And when you work for such a long time with the team at this level, every moment is a pressure moment, or every moment is leading on to something that is monumental or big. Kabhi you will not be like everything worked out well. There will be always यार ये better कर सकते थे. So that will always be there.
There's a term in Indian cricket. We journalists kind of use it a lot. Workload management. बाहर से सुनने को तो बहुत this just look two words, but अंदर से it is immense. For the fans to understand, we always tend to compare era, which I personally feel is rubbish. We should not compare era. So what is this workload management, and how do you see it, and why it is important in modern day cricket?
It will take another day of recording for me to dissect and break down every nuances of workload management in a very simple layman terms, brief and concise manner. कि आपने अभी बोला कि according to me, मेरे हिसाब से एरा को कंपेयर नहीं करना चाहिए. So you are entitled to how you see the thing, or how you see the spectrum of cricket evolving from 80s to 90s to 2000s to now, right? Likewise, every cricketer who has played the sport, or every professional who has worked with a cricketer, will have his own idea or his own opinion on this. But to put it in a very layman and simple terms, समझो कि आपके पास 5 गाड़ियां है. You have 5 cars in your garage. You have 3 destinations to reach. One is Mumbai, one is Delhi, and one is Leh. So you will pick the most rugged, most strong, most robust and resilient car to go to Leh. Then you will pick a car which is comfortable to go to Delhi, and you will pick a car very fast and quick to go to Mumbai. I am sitting in Gujarat, so that is my angle of thinking कि भाई ले दूर है, rugged रास्ता है, मेरे को ऐसी गाड़ी चाहिए. Likewise, when you see 5 fast bowlers, and when you see 5 tournaments in a year, 3 formats in a year, with 2-3 events being monumental events, 2-3 series being not so important series in the bigger scheme of things, you pick and choose your fast bowlers, your cars, to get to those destinations, achieve those goals. And when you have to think like this for 10 years or 12 years or 15 years, you have to be smart with the cars you have. You cannot use any car for any destination at any time. You can do that, but then you are risking them breaking down at odd times, at wrong times, at crucial times for you. That is the analogy which I will give for a layman to understand कि भाई workload management का इतना हवा क्यों बना हुआ है. And the other thing is, people say कि भाई national duty है. That is the very reason you have to be very precise and very planned and very organized, because it is about national duty and it is about India. So you don't want your best horse not available in the biggest race of the year representing India. पहले क्रिकेट होती थी at 19-20 किलोमीटर एन आवर्स का पेस से. T20 फॉर्मेट होता ही नहीं था, आईपीएल होता ही नहीं था. They used to get 6, 7, 8 weeks in summers to prepare for the season to come. Then when IPL started, also initial phase 2008 से लेके 2015 तक, the game used to run at 22-23 kilometers an hour pace. Now 25-26 kilometers an hour is the average pace of the game. So the intensity has risen, the physicality of the game has risen. That is what is costing the physical stress and load and the added burnout in cricketers or cricket today. Hence, we need to have a plan, we need to have a structure, we need to have a foresight कि भाई आगे जाके खेलना है. So how do we plan 6, 8 months, 12 months ahead? We can get emotional about it, कि national duty, we can get very aggressive and very patriotic about it. But if you think from a long shot and a bigger picture vision, bird's eye view जब देखते हो, तब you will see that those are the decisions which will end up putting you in the best positions to win the big moments and big trophies. नाम चेंज होते रहेंगे. Today Bumrah is there, Siraj is there. Tomorrow it will be some other 2 fast bowlers. Before it was other fast bowlers who used to be managed like that. Yes, Bumrah is a generational talent. He is a outlier. He is a freak of nature. तो वो एक बंदा है जो हमेशा डिस्कस होते जाएगा. Even for 50, 100 years to come, his case will be discussed because of the uniqueness he brings to the table with his bowling, with his mindset, with his body, with his action, with his impact, what he has gone on to achieve for himself and the country. तो वो discuss होते ही जाएगा, and there will be no right wrong opinion in this. People will keep sharing their views.
On batters, we have seen Rahul Dravid has famously said when Sachin Tendulkar is playing that straight drive, just you know that he's in touch, he's in good rhythm. Virat Kohli के बारे में अगर वो cover drive आ रहा है, that flick is coming, that you know that he's in the zone. For example, let's take example of a Bumrah or Sami. When they move, how do you see that? Okay, or a Hardik, these three are basically very injury prone. So how do you see? Okay, this guy is moving this way, he is fit, he's ready to go.
Human body is not meant to bowl. वो जो mechanics है, spine का rotation होता है, front foot landing, the weight bearing that happens on that. Ideally, we should not be doing that, right? But we want to play sport. We love cricket. We want to do something that is close to our heart, and all those things come into play, and they choose fast bowling. जब fast bowling choose करते हैं, then they have a particular action. Some guys have action which is leading them to more injuries, so then they become more injury prone. Some guys have great action, but their bodies are of such type कि भाई उनको वो help नहीं कर रहा है. Genetically या physiologically वो लोग, they are made up with such kind of combinations and resources that they don't come together to become a robust fast bowler. And some guys, वो लोग सुबह से शाम तक bowling डालते जाएंगे, कुछ होगा ही नहीं, अगले दिन भी आके bowling डालेंगे, कुछ होगा नहीं. So those are blessed guys who love bowling and who have got the bodies and the action to keep bowling. We have to find out first कि भाई कौन कैसा बंदा है, and based on that draw a plan around that कि boss what is his weak point, what is his strength, till where can he go without having any issues. After that point he might have issues, so what are the checkpoints or what are the gaps that we need to start filling from now, वैसे करके. So Hardik is a guy who is genetically and naturally very athletic, very very athletic. ऐसा बंदा मिलेंगे नहीं जो sprint और explosiveness में भी top 3 में आते हैं and endurance उसमें भी top 3 में आते हैं. He is one of those kind. Obviously with age your bodies tend to slow down and tend to drop in fitness, but with his work ethic and with his hard work and with his professionalism he has kept the benchmarks there. उसका बॉलिंग में जितना लोड जाता है वो सिराज बुमराह या शमी जितना जाता है या 70% ऑफ देम, एंड बैटिंग में विराट कोहली का 70-60% जाता है. आई एम टॉकिंग अबाउट प्रिपरेशन वाइज, आई एम नॉट टॉकिंग अबाउट द गेम लोड. So imagine the workload, physical load that he's facing in preparing for a series or a tournament. That is why we need to address those cases very differently. उनको आप हर हम भी खेलते थे या हम भी करते थे ऐसे नहीं कर सकते. It is easy to say and I understand where they are coming from. They're emotional about the team. They are very passionate about cricket and the team they have represented and played for. But you need to step back a little and see every case as it is for the subjective nature that they present.
On-field injuries happen. Take example of Hardik in ODI World Cup और बुमराह अभी ऑस्ट्रेलिया में हुआ या ऋषभ का अभी हुआ. As a strength and conditioning coach, to be a professional, okay, boss, this is what happened. You need to go to the scans. Or is there a human touch? Cricketers, the professional cricketers, do they need that kind of calm uh, hand around their shoulders? ऐसा कभी आपके साथ कभी कुछ experience हुआ है?
Pratyush, everyone needs that pat on the back or hand around your shoulder. When you are preparing in a manner that you do around the year, when you are doing everything in your control and in your power, and when then something happens unforeseen or beyond your control, it is a shock in that moment. However, these guys, that is what makes them who they are, the champions that they are. They are able to come out of that, or they are able to bounce back from that setback or from that emotional or from that trauma very very quickly. And as coaches or as people working to help them get to their best, if it is like a Rishabh ball hit, or if it is like a Hardik ankle twist, you feel very very sad for the athlete, because you cannot prevent that, you cannot plan for that, you cannot train for that. It just happens, and then you have to cope with whatever has happened. Things we feel bad more than the athletes as professionals helping them is if they have a soft tissue injury, if they have a workload type of injury, if they have a stress injury which is an overuse injury, ये सब चीजें होती है ना. So then you can prevent it, you can anticipate it, you can see it from far off कि भाई ये direction में जा रहा है, we can prevent it, we should do something, we should start putting in some checkpoints या some plans या some processes to stop him from reaching there or delay his arrival to that spot. That is where a lot of support from captain, coach, selectors, people around the team management and higher up, that is when their support comes into play. कि हम तो बोल सकते हैं और हम तो देख सकते हैं, but we are not the decision makers. We have only the right to present the case, propose the plan and process. Then it is up to the higher ups to take it up and work on that. But again, as I said, it is unavoidable. When you play cricket, it is part and parcel of the game, and they have somehow cracked the code to come back from it very quickly and very strongly.
The Bronco test. How different it is from yo-yo? कैसे होता है? We have a very robust strength and conditioning thing that has happened. Batting the choro injuries and all जो भी होते part and parcel. But this new thing about Bronco, if you could explain it.
See, in India, there is no set structure or there is no set norm. In 2017, when I went to National Cricket Academy, I worked there for 4 years. Then I graduated to under 19, then India A, and then finally India. And I saw Shankar Basu as my head when I joined. Then I worked with Nick Webb. Then I ran the show for 3.5 years. So in all these years, there is no directive coming from anyone which says that we need to create a long term vision or we need to create a process or a system that will last beyond you are there with us or not. We need to create a robust system which will last beyond any professional who is taking up that job or role. English Premier League clubs ले लो, NFL ले लो, NBA ले लो, तो इधर टेस्टिंग पैरामीटर्स दे हैव गॉट प्रोफेशनल्स फ्रॉम वेरियस कंट्रीज. फॉर एग्जांपल अगर आप इंग्लिश प्रीमियर लीग जाओगे तो एक आर्सेनल टीम है, उसमें एक स्पेनिश बोलने वाला, एक इंग्लिश बोलने वाला, एक फ्रेंच बोलने वाला, ऐसे प्रोफेशनल्स रहेंगे बिकॉज दे हैव प्लेयर्स कमिंग इन फ्रॉम दोज कंट्री, बट दे विल ऑल बी अलाइंड टू द विजन ऑफ आर्सेनल एज अ franchisee, as a team, as a club. Maybe it's our strength also, our weakness also. That is for people to judge and people to have their opinions on. But जैसे Adrian Leroux has come in. Now, we cannot blame him or we cannot say that by Bronco नया टेस्ट क्यों लेके आया. He is comfortable with that test. He is testing up quality. तो अब योयो में या ब्रोंको में या 2 किलोमीटर रन में या बीप टेस्ट में, all these things are tools a coach uses. But what he is trying to assess or what he is trying to get to is finding out aerobic fitness ability of that particular athlete. Bronco is something which is predominantly used in rugby setting or rugby environment because वो लोग का गेम ऐसा है, वो लोग का सिस्टम ऐसा है कि सालों से वो लोग वो करते आए. Even Adrian would have done it with the boys without telling them that it is a Bronco test as just a conditioning training session for them. So it is nothing to do with the coach or nothing to do with नया आया मार्केट में, ऐसा नहीं है. जो चीज फेमिलियर है वो कोच को, वो कोच करेगा. ब्रोंको टेस्ट कोई टेस्ट नहीं है जिसमें पास फेल करके कोई प्लेयर सिलेक्ट होगा ना सिलेक्ट होगा. नॉर इट इज द केस विथ योयो एट द मोमेंट. ड्यूरिंग विराट कोहली रवि शास्त्री टाइम, they directed Shankar Basu to get fitness to a level leading into 2019 World Cup. वो numbers agree हुए थे with all the stakeholders involved and they wanted to keep it a serious affair so that people leading into 2019 World Cup come to a particular level and then we play the World Cup. That is the whole vision and it became a selection criteria. But after that, we have done yo-yo tests 3 times a year for almost all contracted players every year. But it is not a selection criteria, it is a fitness assessment parameter where we as coaches, people working in NCA, they get an idea, a snapshot about their fitness at that particular level, so they know कि भाई इसको ये करना पड़ेगा आगे जाके, नहीं तो ये हो सकता है, नहीं तो he is doing well, we need to just carry on doing what we are doing, things like that.
मुझे ये दो लोगों की थोड़ी समझना है. एक दैट ऋषभ पंत का एक्सीडेंट, इट वाज हॉरिफिक. And when you see that boy coming out, playing, doing all those flips and all, ऐसा था कि just to able to walk again is a miracle. And this boy is like, I don't know, self-belief क्या है. What went through your mind when you saw that image and like when the first time you saw him, do you feel कि that was your like the toughest job to deal with emotionally, to make him aware कि what the steps कैसे करना है NCA में, to give him the guidelines, and what was that like to get him back?
I actually went to see him 3 to 4 weeks after the operation and everything once he shifted to Mumbai. When I saw him first time, he was at a very low point physically, very low point emotionally. But the moment that he had escaped the accident and he was all right, nothing lost, nothing damaged permanently, that was the biggest relief for me. And I was 90%, 95% relieved and happy that चलो इधर से वो निकल जाएगा. Because knowing him, knowing how he thinks, knowing how he sees the world, I know कि ये कहीं से तो कुछ तो रास्ता निकाल के किसी को तो push करके या which will get him going and he will get out of this and get out of it faster and quicker than anyone else could have done, because that is how he is. Basically, if you see even how he bats or how he lives or how he thinks, basically वो explain नहीं कर सकते. वो मैं आपको I cannot put it down in words with you, but there is this thing different about him, and that is innate. That you cannot teach that, you cannot coach that. You can just preserve that. You can just support that, or you can just what do you call uh, uh, nurture that. तो उतना ही है. तो once he was out of it unharmed and alive, the biggest battle was won. After that, it was about time ki when he comes back, not if he comes back.
On that note, Soham, thank you so much. It's been really, I mean, meaningful to understand all this nits and bits and all the technical aspect and the cricketers what you have achieved. I wish you all the best, whatever is stored in the future. I'm sure there will be more homegrown Soham Desai will join India's SNC and in India in different sports. Thank you for giving your time. If you like our video, please do like, share, and comment, and don't forget to hit that bell icon. Thank you so much for watching TI Sport. This is Pratyush Raj signing off. Thank you.